Stop throwing away your pennies because someone found a Lincoln cent in their pocket change, took it to heritage auctions, and walked out with $110,000, and the coin looked almost identical to every other penny made that year. Between 2000 and 2003, the United States Mint made critical errors and varieties on Lincoln Memorial cents that collectors are paying anywhere from $1,500 to $110,000 to own today, and the only difference between a worthless cent and a five-figure coin is one tiny detail that most Americans completely miss. You have probably already thrown away one of these without ever knowing it, and tonight, I am showing you all 5 of them one by one. So that never happens to you again, let's get started with first coin. The 2000 Lincoln Memorial Cheerios Penny. You are holding one of the most talked about promotional coins in all of modern American numismatic history, and if you have one sitting in a drawer somewhere, in an old collection, or even in a coin jar you have not looked at in years, you need to stop everything right now and pay very close attention to what I am about to tell you. Because this coin has sold for values that most people would never believe possible for something that was originally given away inside a box of Cheerios cereal back in the year 2000. In January of 2000, General Mills partnered with the United States Mint to celebrate the new millennium, and they inserted newly minted coins into specially selected boxes of Cheerios cereal as part of a promotional campaign. Around 10 million boxes were distributed across the country, and inside each one was either a 2000 Lincoln cent or a Sacagawea dollar. Most people who found those coins either spent them, lost them, or simply forgot about them entirely. That was the biggest numismatic mistake of a generation. Here is what makes the 2000 Cheerios Penny so extraordinary and so valuable. When researchers and collectors began examining these promotional cents under magnification years later, they discovered something that the average person would never notice with the naked eye. The reverse of the coin, the side showing the Lincoln Memorial, featured enhanced and more detailed tail feathers on the eagle located at the top of the memorial's design compared to the standard business strike pennies that were being released for general circulation at the same time. This detail, subtle to most but absolutely screaming to a trained numismatist, confirmed that these Cheerios cents were struck using prototype or early production reverse dies that differed from the dies used on regular circulation coins. This is not a minor variation. In the world of coin collecting, a confirmed die variety tied to a specific and documented distribution event, especially one with this kind of backstory, is the recipe for serious collector demand and serious auction money. Heritage Auctions, which is the largest numismatic auction house in the United States and one of the most respected in the world, has handled examples of the 2000 Cheerios Penny in certified and graded condition, and the results have been nothing short of stunning. In higher mint state grades, particularly MS65 and above as certified by PCGS or NGC, examples of this coin have brought prices ranging from several $1,000s all the way up to $11,000 and beyond depending on the grade, the eye appeal, and the competition in the room on auction day. Even in mid-range mint state grades, examples of this coin regularly trade hands in the range of $2,000 to $5,000 at major auction venues and through established private dealers who specialize in modern era and variety coinage. The key is certification. If you think you might have one of these coins, you do not just drop it in a flip and call it a Cheerios Penny. You submit it to PCGs or NGC, you get it properly authenticated and graded, and then you let the market do the talking for you. The rarity factor here is a combination of attrition and ignorance. Out of the millions of Cheerios boxes that were distributed, the vast majority of those coins were never saved, never identified, and never preserved. The ones that do survive in collectible condition are genuinely scarce in the marketplace, and scarcity combined with a compelling story is exactly what drives collector premiums to levels that make headlines. Private sales of this coin, the kind that happen between advanced collectors and specialized dealers outside of the public auction record, have reportedly reached values consistent with the higher end of the Heritage and Stack's Bowers auction data, sometimes even exceeding it when the grade is exceptional and the buyer is motivated. The numismatic community treats this coin with a level of respect that very few modern Lincoln cents have ever earned, and that respect translates directly into dollars. If you have a 2000 Lincoln cent that came from a Cheerios box, or even one that you are not sure about, the most important thing you can do right now is get it examined by a professional. The enhanced reverse details are not always easy to spot without experience and magnification, but they are absolutely real and absolutely documented, and they absolutely separate a potentially $11,000 coin from a coin worth 1 cent. Next up is a coin so rare, so bizarre, and so wildly valuable that even seasoned collectors had trouble believing it existed when it was first discovered. And the price it commands will absolutely stop you cold. Coin number 2. The 2001 Lincoln Memorial Mule Error Penny with dime reverse. There are rare coins, there are valuable coins, there are coins that make collectors lose sleep at night, hoping they will one day find one. And then there is this, the 2001 Lincoln Memorial Mule Error Penny struck with a Roosevelt dime reverse. And this coin exists in a category so far above the rest that calling it merely rare feels like an insult to what it actually represents in the landscape of American coinage errors. A mule coin, for anyone who is not already familiar with the term, is a coin that has been struck using 2 dies that were never intended to be paired together. It is a mistake at the most fundamental level of the minting process. It means that somewhere inside the United States Mint, a cent obverse die and a dime reverse die ended up in the same press at the same time and produced coins that should have been physically impossible to exist. And yet they do exist. They are real. They are certified. And they are worth a sum of money that most Americans would consider life-changing. The 2001 Lincoln Memorial cent obverse paired with a Roosevelt dime reverse is not just a mule. It is arguably the most dramatic and desirable modern mule error ever documented in American numismatic history. The size discrepancy alone is immediately visible to the naked eye when you know what you are looking at. The dime reverse design, which is intended for a coin that is significantly smaller in diameter than a cent, appears on the larger planche. And the result is a coin that looks wrong in every possible way, because it fundamentally is wrong in every possible way. And in coin collecting, wrong in the right way means extraordinarily valuable. Heritage Auctions has been the primary venue where examples of this coin have traded publicly, and the numbers that appear in the auction records are the kind of numbers that stop conversations. Certified examples of the 2001 Lincoln Memorial Mule have sold at Heritage for prices in the range of $90,000 to over $110,000. And those figures are not the ceiling, they are reference points in an ongoing story of a coin that the collecting community has never stopped wanting. The population of known examples is extremely limited. These are not coins that surface regularly. When a new example comes to market, it is an event. The numismatic press covers it. Collectors who have been waiting for years to add one to their holdings mobilize quickly. The bidding is aggressive. The final prices reflect not just the rarity of the coin, but the intensity of the demand from a community of serious collectors who understand exactly what they are looking at and exactly how few opportunities they will have in their lifetimes to own one. Stack's Bowers Galleries, another of the premier numismatic auction houses in the country, has also handled examples of major mule errors from this era. And the market consensus is consistent across venues. These coins command 5-figure and 6-figure prices because the combination of their documented rarity, their certification by the leading grading services, and their extraordinary backstory creates the perfect conditions for maximum collector desire. Private transactions involving this coin have, by credible accounts within the numismatic community, matched and in some cases exceeded the public auction record. When a coin is this rare and this wanted, collectors who have the means sometimes prefer to conclude transactions privately rather than risk losing a bidding war at auction. And private sales of coins at this level routinely happen at prices that never appear in any public database. The true market ceiling for the finest known examples may be higher than any published number suggests. What makes this coin particularly fascinating beyond its monetary value is what it tells you about the minting process and the human element inside an institution like the United States Mint. Errors like this are not supposed to escape. There are quality control procedures in place. Dies are inspected. Planches are checked. And yet this coin got out, circulated, was found by someone who recognized it for what it was and entered the hobby in a way that permanently changed the record books for modern American era coinage. If you are looking through old coin collections, estate finds, or rolls of cents that have never been examined, and you come across a 2001 cent that seems to have the wrong reverse, do not touch it with your bare hands. Do not clean it under any circumstances, and take it immediately to a professional numismatist or directly to PCGS or NGC for authentication. What you might be holding could be worth more than a new car. It could be worth more than most people make in 2 years of full-time work. The authentication process is everything with a coin like this, because the value is entirely contingent on certification from one of the recognized grading services. This is the kind of coin that numismatic legends are made of. And the next coin on our list carries its own remarkable story of a die that ended up where it had no business being, and the collectors who paid top dollar to own the proof. Coin number 3. The 2002 Lincoln Memorial Wide M Penny. You have ever heard serious coin collectors talk about the Wide M Lincoln cents and wondered whether the excitement was justified? Let me walk you through exactly what is happening with the 2002 version of this variety. Because this is a coin that rewards the patient and the observant. And it has been delivering real money to the collectors who found examples before the general public understood what to look for. The wide M designation refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse of the Lincoln Memorial cent. On standard business strike coins produced for general circulation, the A and M are positioned close together, nearly touching, in a style that was adopted for circulation coinage during a specific period of mint production. The wide M variety shows noticeably more space between those two letters, a spacing characteristic that was associated with the proof dies that the mint used to produce collector-quality coins intended for sale in proof sets rather than for release into everyday commerce. The reason this matters, and the reason it creates value, is that during certain years the mint inadvertently used proof reverse dies on business strike coins that went into general circulation. When a proof die intended for the polished, specially prepared collector coins ends up in a press producing regular cents for pocket change, the resulting coins carry the wide M detail on what is otherwise a completely ordinary-looking circulation strike. To the untrained eye, it is just a penny. To a collector who knows what to look for under a loupe, it is a discovery worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For the 2002 Lincoln Memorial cent, Heritage Auctions records and dealer price guides confirm that certified examples in mint state grades have sold for values ranging from several $100s in lower mint state grades up to approximately $1,500 and above in the higher grades, particularly MS65 red and MS66 red, where the coin's original copper luster is fully preserved and the strike quality is sharp and complete. The red designation is critical here. Lincoln cents are graded not just on their surface preservation and strike quality, but also on their color. Full red coins that have retained their original bright copper color command the highest premiums. Red-brown coins that have begun to tone fall into a middle tier. Brown coins that have fully toned to darker shades carry lower premiums. For the 2002 Wide Am, finding a full red example in high mint state grade is the goal, and those coins are the ones that approach and exceed the upper end of the value range. Private dealers who specialize in Lincoln cent varieties have consistently maintained buy prices for this coin that reflect strong collector demand. And the sell prices at established coin shows and through direct dealer transactions have confirmed that the market for the 2002 Wide Am is active, serious, and growing as more collectors focus on the Wide Am series across the years, it appears. The search process for this coin is straightforward in concept, but requires patience and practice. You look at the reverse under magnification, you examine the spacing between the A and M in America, and you compare it to a known example of the close Am variety from the same year. The difference is visible. It is not subtle once you know what you are looking for. And the reward for finding one in your collection or in a roll of unsearched cents is a coin that was made for 1 cent and can sell for $1,500 or more at the right venue to the right buyer. The next coin takes the doubling effect and delivers it in a way that makes the value absolutely explode. Stay with me. Coin number 4, the 2003 Lincoln Memorial Double Die Reverse. The double die is one of the most beloved and most aggressively hunted variety types in all of American coin collecting. And when you combine a genuine certified double die reverse with a year like 2003, which has produced documented examples that have sold for prices most people would never associate with a 1-cent coin, you are looking at a variety that deserves every bit of the attention and the money that the market has consistently directed toward it. A double die occurs during the hubbing process at the United States Mint, which is the process by which the design is transferred from a hub onto a working die. If the hub and the die are not perfectly aligned on consecutive impressions during this process, the design elements can be shifted slightly, creating a doubling effect that is permanently embedded in the die and therefore present on every coin that die produces. This is not a result of the coin being struck twice. It is not a post-mint alteration. It is a genuine die variety that originated at the source inside the mint itself, and that distinction is everything when it comes to collector value and certification eligibility. On the 2003 Lincoln Memorial Double Die Reverse, the most significant and most visually impactful doubling appears on the denomination, specifically on the words 1 cent on the reverse of the coin. When examined under a loupe or a microscope, the doubling is clear, dramatic, and unmistakable to anyone who knows what a genuine hub double die looks like, as opposed to the mechanical doubling that collectors learn to dismiss because it carries no premium value whatsoever. Heritage Auctions, which maintains the most comprehensive public auction database in American numismatics, has records of certified examples of the 2003 Double Die Reverse Lincoln Cent selling at prices that reflect the genuine scarcity of the variety in higher grades. In mint state grades at the MS65 level and above, certified by PCGS or NGC with the Dieter designation confirmed, prices have reached into the thousands of dollars per coin, with the most exceptional examples in the finest known grades approaching, and in some cases reaching into the range of $8,000 to $10,000 based on competition among advanced collectors who specialize in modern Lincoln cent varieties. The key to maximizing value on this coin, as with all double die varieties, is certification. An uncertified example that has not been authenticated and graded by PCGs or NGC will not command the same premium in the open market because sophisticated buyers will not pay top dollar for something that has not been professionally verified. The grading services examine the coin under magnification, confirm the double die details against their reference materials, and assign both an authenticity determination and a grade that the market uses as the basis for valuation. Dealers who specialize in Lincoln cent varieties have consistently reported strong demand for the 2003 DDAR, particularly from collectors who are building complete sets of Lincoln Memorial cent varieties and who understand the relative difficulty of finding this one in grades above MS64. The supply of high-grade certified examples is genuinely limited, which means that when a nice example comes to market, the competition is real, and the prices reflect that reality. The hunt for this coin in original rolls, bank bags, and unsearched collections is ongoing, and the potential reward for finding one in exceptional condition is the kind of return that turns casual coin hunters into dedicated variety specialists. One roll of 2003 Lincoln cents could contain a coin worth $10,000 sitting right next to 50 coins worth 1 cent each. That is the reality of variety collecting, and that reality is what makes the search so compelling for so many people. Now hold on, because the final coin in this series combines two different valuable characteristics into one coin. And the numbers that follow are going to make you want to go check every 2,000 penny you have ever set aside. Coin number 5. The 2000 Lincoln Memorial Wide M Penny. Everything I told you about the Wide M variety when we discussed the 2002 coin applies here, but the 2000 Lincoln Memorial Wide M Penny carries its own distinct market profile, its own documented auction history, and its own compelling story about how a proof die ended up producing circulation coins that have been selling for thousands of dollars to collectors who found them before most of the country even knew they existed. The year 2000 is significant in the context of the Wide Am series because it sits within a window of years where the Mint's die management practices created the conditions for this variety to appear on business strike coins entering general circulation. The proof reverse die, with its characteristic wide am spacing between the A and M in America, was used to produce coins that went into everyday commerce rather than into the specially packaged proof sets for which those dies were intended. The result is a coin that looks, to almost every person who has ever handled one, exactly like a regular 2000 Lincoln cent worth 1 cent. To a collector who examines the reverse under magnification and recognizes the wide am detail, it is a coin worth up to $3,000 or more, depending on grade and eye appeal. Heritage Auctions records confirm that certified examples of the 2000 Lincoln Memorial Wide am in high mint state grades, particularly MS65 Red and MS66 Red, have sold at prices ranging from approximately $1,000 in the mid-mint state range to $3,000 and above in the finest certified examples. The full red designation, indicating that the coin has retained its original bright copper color without toning or environmental damage, is the critical factor in reaching the upper end of the value range. Stack's Bowers Galleries and other major auction venues have also handled examples of this coin, and the market data is consistent. The 2000 wide am is a recognized, documented, and actively traded variety that commands genuine premiums from collectors who understand its place in the Lincoln Memorial Cent Variety Sequence. Private dealer transactions have matched and in some cases exceeded the public auction record for exceptional examples, particularly when the coin is graded MS66 Red or higher and the surfaces are clean, bright, and free from contact marks that would diminish the visual appeal and the grade. The population reports from PCGS and NGC, which track every coin that has been submitted to those services and graded with the WIDEM designation, tell you everything you need to know about relative scarcity. The number of 2000 WIDEM cents that have been certified in grades of MS65 Red and above is small enough that a new high-grade example coming to market is genuinely noteworthy within the Lincoln cent collecting community. That scarcity, combined with the year 2000's historical resonance as the millennium year, creates a collecting narrative that resonates with buyers beyond just dedicated variety specialists. For anyone searching through Lincoln cents of this era, the examination process for the wide am is fast once you know what you are doing. You need a loop of at least 5 power magnification, ideally 10 power. You look at the reverse. You find the word America. You examine the spacing between the A and the M. If there is clear visible space between those two letters that is noticeably wider than what you see on a standard 2000 cent, you may have found something worth protecting immediately. Place it in a soft flip, keep it away from other coins, and get it to a professional for examination before you do anything else. The potential value sitting in unsearched coin jars, old collections, and forgotten rolls of Lincoln cents from this era is real, documented, and substantial. The $3,000 value for a 2000 WIDEM in top grade is not a theoretical ceiling. It is a price that has been paid by real collectors at real auctions for a coin that started its life as 1 cent in general circulation. That gap between face value and collector value is one of the most extraordinary things about the variety collecting world, and it is exactly why the search never stops for the people who understand what is actually out there waiting to be found.